God has a grand plan. He wants to restore this world. He desires to reconcile all things, to restore what is broken, and to establish His peace throughout His entire creation. But did you know that God's grand plan does not begin in some distant place or on a grand stage, but in your own home? It begins with shared moments around the dinner table, laughter in the living room, a healing embrace, and encouragement on a bad day. Home is the ground where God plants the seeds of love before they grow and spread to the people around you. Jesus taught us that the most important commandment is to love God with all our hearts and our neighbors as ourselves. But who are our neighbors? They are the ones we see every morning, the ones with whom we share our daily lives, our spouse, our children, and the people around us. If we ignore expressing love in our closest relationships, how can we claim to follow Jesus? True love must begin within the home. Once our families are filled with God's love, this love will naturally flow to the people around us. The word oikos is a Greek word meaning household. Our oikos includes our family and the people we regularly interact with in daily life. This is where we learn to live together, where we see each other's strengths and weaknesses most clearly. The oikos is our classroom, where we learn how to love. Every day, we have the opportunity to choose to love the people around us as Christ loves us. We are challenged to forgive when hurt, endure when we are tired, and choose to love even when we don't feel like it. True love reveals itself not only as occasional kind words, but by what we're willing to do again and again, especially when it's hard, inconvenient, or undeserved. It might be getting up at night to care for someone who is sick, going the extra mile, or embracing someone after a recent argument. The oikos is the training ground that God uses to teach us to love others as He loves us. One example of this can be seen in the story of a missionary family in Thailand. The wife had been battling cancer, undergoing lengthy treatment and physical pain. However, what those around her witnessed was the peace that she radiated in the midst of her pain. Many of their neighbors started to follow this Jesus, who can give peace amid great suffering. Jesus transformed the families of those new believers. Their neighbors wondered, "Why is your family so happy?" The answer was, "Because we have Jesus." From one family, love quietly and powerfully spread. This love continually influenced neighbors, friends of friends, and relatives of relatives. Eventually, hundreds of families and thousands of people came to know Christ. This wasn't the result of crusades or evangelism, but because they witnessed genuine love that transformed families and is constantly being demonstrated every day. Therefore, as the church, we need a radical reorientation in the content we prioritize. Rather than centering our discussions on abstract theological concepts, we must focus on equipping believers to embody Christ-like love in their everyday relationships. This includes addressing practical topics such as how to communicate well, healing inner wounds, being secure in one's identity, resolving conflicts humbly without hurting, setting and respecting boundaries, a healthy lifestyle, developing a fulfilling sexuality, practicing forgiving sincerely even when our hearts are still hurting, the importance of Sabbath, wise parenting, and cultivating a balanced relationship with money. When we practice these things within our homes, the love of Christ will take root in our families and spread from there to the world. True ministry doesn't begin on a grand stage or at big evangelistic events. It begins with simple, everyday moments, like sitting around the dinner table, taking time to listen intently to one another, offering heartfelt hugs, and reaching out to a neighbor in need. These may seem small and ordinary, but in God's eyes, they are far greater than we can imagine. This is the path He has chosen to change the world, one heart at a time. When our homes are filled with Christ-like love, that love doesn't stop within. It overflows outward to our neighbors, our communities, and even to people we've never met. When we do the hard work and cultivate Christ-like love within our families and close relationships, it is like a tiny seed that grows into a mighty tree that provides shade and fruit for countless people. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself.